Global media outlets from the BBC to Al Jazeera to even the Israeli newspaper Haaretz have accused the IDF of intentionally shooting unarmed Palestinian civilians at aid distribution centers. But is it true? Well, IDF Sergeant Major Chaim Malespin joins us now. So, Chaim, you served extensively in Gaza since October 7th. What can you tell us?
Yes, today, at the time of this filming, would be consecutive deployment, 633 days since October 7th, pretty much, or October 8th. And what it is I've seen always in my service throughout southern Lebanon, throughout almost every part of Gaza, that indeed we stick to what we're trained with, which is called purity of arms. And I'd love to quote purity of arms to you as well. Purity of arms just says the soldier will use his weapon and power only for the purpose of his mission and only to the extent required. He will maintain his humanity even in combat. The soldier will not use his weapon or power to harm non-combatants or prisoners and will do all in his power to avoid harming their lives, bodies, dignity, and property. That is what we're trained in. We all receive that little booklet. That is what we do. Now, you want to know who does shoot civilians in aid areas? Okay, first of all, there's a lot of misinformation, and that just means people sharing information that's not true, maybe by accident. And then there's disinformation, and that's Hamas lies that is purposefully used in a war. And this can happen in wars anywhere. It's happening a lot in this war where the Hamas will purposefully push out false information, which is a lie, in order to try to gain some sort of an upper ground or what I really honestly it really hurts me when they try to make an equivalence between a democracy fighting for survival, fighting to defend our civilians and to keep this nation free and safe, and them whose sole intent is, Kaibar Ya Yahud, the things they claim that they're going to destroy and kill all of us in Israel. So there's video of Hamas killing their own people at the aid centers. Okay, when we now, I'm not a aid distribution worker. I'm not. I speak English. There's American aid distribution workers. I'm not one of them. I'm Yahalom. We do all kinds of destroying tunnels and many other things. But I've been near there, and all I've seen and all I've ever heard in my whole service is the IDF trying to make sure that civilians are okay, that they're moved. I mean, look at our track record. Please leave this area, pamphlet. Please move from this area to that area. Drone with a loudspeaker. Does that look like we're trying to hurt civilians? It's disinformation. It's lies. But you see systematic confiscation by Hamas of aid, killing their own people. They jump on the trucks and they shoot their own people, take the aid and resell it, maybe as another way of income by robbing their own people. They divert the aid to a different place when they're on. They hijack the trucks. They seize the aid shipments. U.S. Department of Aid, whatever it's called there, at the Erez crossing, they say they also reported Hamas is stealing the aid. They literally kill their own people in broad daylight, just shoot them. And there's videos of this. I don't want to show them. You could show them. And they have actually a command to shoot aid workers. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation reported that Hamas placed bounties on its personnel to kill or injure members of their nonprofit because they want to have that control over their own people. This is not Israel's way. This is not. Now,
let me ask you this. There are obviously a lot of outlets that are reporting that, Palestinian civilians are being killed. And I think at that point, it's an undeniable reality that there are Palestinian civilians, unarmed Palestinian civilians being killed. And obviously, it's not shocking when you have Al Jazeera, BBC saying it's Israel. But then you have an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, joining in with the choir, basically saying that, yes, the IDF is, in fact, randomly shooting Palestinian civilians. How would you respond to that?
I would respond that there are even some Jewish people in this world. Gideon Levy is one of the main writers of Haaretz. There's a few. Gideon Levy has always been searching, people like him, searching for some information, disinformation to grab hold of and publish. Now, he's not in Gaza. Gideon Levy's not in Gaza. These writers are not in Gaza, but they'll grab hold of some disinformation and often they'll repeat it. Even a very left-wing, very anti-Israel, very anti our war of self-defense newspaper like Haaretz, and they will push that just because they repeated some disinformation doesn't make it true. And I know track record as the IDF speaks for itself. But I'll say this, there is definitely huge investigations happening in this free democratic society, like America, like any other, and you have this investigation to search if there's any truth to that. Let's just play an example here. If that was to be true, what would happen to such a soldier who did such a thing? Not just shooting in the air and saying, everybody stay back in line in the air. So actually targeting a civilian. If that were to happen, what would happen to that soldier? Well, he would be jailed. He would be, his ranks would be torn off him. He would be punished. But that is the goal of Hamas, though. You see the big difference here? If that person were to disobey orders, any soldier that disobeys direct orders, but there's a claim there that those are our orders. And the reason for disinformation like that is to try to make an equation of a terrorist and the democratic, free society of rights trying to protect our civilians and protect human life. When we say l'chaim, we say to life. That's our way of saying cheers. That's what we're trained in from children. What are they trained in? And you see the chants they're trained in is, for example, with blood and with fire, we will redeem Palestine. Al-maut il Yisrael. Death to Israel. Hamas has been trained by Iran a lot with this death to America, death to Israel, death for the sake of Allah, our greatest and most exalted wish. This is what they're trained with since childhood. There's just no equating, itbah ya Yahud. We will slaughter you Jews. See, you see the difference from childhood, this brainwash. There is no equating these societies.
Well, as you said earlier, Chaim, to life, your name means life. So again, this is a very complicated situation, but we do pray in the name of Yeshua for Chaim, everyone involved, that Yeshua would do something amazing and there'd be reconciliation. But Chaim, I appreciate for your perspective and your time, my friend. Stay safe.
Thank you.